Hi everyone, Tony Martinez here with Latino Tax Pro. We are live again on Facebook with the live webinar. And today we have Herman with Thomson Reuters back with us. Hey Herman, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well. What about you?
Yeah, I can hear you well as well. I'm excited that you're back. And yesterday we were on doing a Facebook Live and talked about how to find answers to your tax questions. So I'm excited to see and hear from you how exactly Checkpoint works and how people have for a long time been using Thomson Reuters Checkpoint to find the answers that they need. So with that said, take it away.
Okay, very good. Thank you again. Yeah, so let's talk about a little bit about Checkpoint first, because Checkpoint is actually being around for over 20 years. All right, so that's how you know it's a trusted site and a place that you can go and find answers. Now, Thomson Reuters has been around for over 50, 60 years, and some of the products available in Checkpoint are available for 80, 90 years. So again, it's a very, very trusted place to get your answers. All right, so how do we get to Checkpoint, or what is Checkpoint? Remember, Checkpoint is a website. In fact, we have it here on the screen. You will need a user ID, you will need a password. If you forget, obviously you can do here. Remember, you can always sign up for the free trial. If you do that, if you choose this link, you can always go ahead and just put in the notes, hey, I'm a member of Latino Tax Pro. That way you can get an additional discount in your package. All right, so because we have a specific package for Latino Tax Pro, and we'll go over that in a minute. But before we're doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick presentation about the program in general. So everybody will have an understanding of what Checkpoint is and how we can get answers right from it. All right, so let me go ahead and just share a different screen for the minute. Okay, just bear with me. And let's see, right from here. Okay, there you go. So once we log in into Checkpoint, or once we want to see what is available, by the way, can everybody see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Perfect, yeah. So once we get to this screen, actually we'll go to see, all right, so we have a bunch of buttons. Where do I start, right? So there are a couple of places, and today I want to go ahead and get started here with the table of contents, just to show what is available in Checkpoint. Because Checkpoint is a tool not only for tax, but it's also for accounting, for audit, for estate planning, for financial information, SEC, you name it. Right? And it has many different libraries. So if you look at here, you will see how a Checkpoint is pretty much broken into. It could be, if we want to break it away into just the federal library. Remember, everything that has to do with all the legislation, all the interpretation, all the laws themselves are going to be available here. So if I want to look at the legislation first, I can always go in and take a look at all the different pieces of legislation, including TCJA, right? If we want to just think about all the changes and everything that is been going on recently or historically, you will have all the legislation right here. Also, if I want to go in and say, all right, I want to look at the law itself, remember, we can take a look then at the code, the regs, the rulings, pretty much all the information available either from courts, from the IRS themselves, as you can see there, see like IRS rulings, releases, code sections, stuff like that. So all the law is going to be available here. And remember, when you're doing research, you want to find the answer, but also you want to find a resource, you want to find a law that will back up your answer. Very, very important. Remember that. You want to find the answer and also a code, case, a ruling, a procedure, anything that can really help you. And whenever somebody asks you where you got this, or what is the information to back up, what is the law to back up what you're saying, there you go. It's going to be available to you. All right. And the third piece is basically our editorial content. So when we look at the editorial content here, we're going to see all the different libraries. And all this is basically the checkpoint interpretation about different topics. All right. So what is available for the Latino Tax Pro members, or sometimes for the practitioner, like all the all the participants today in our webinar. Right, we have different guides, and let me go ahead and scroll down a little bit here. All right, not sure why my screen is doing what it's doing, kind of hiding away sometimes. But let me go here to PPC, scroll down.
So
Okay,
is this the main portal where people research, Herman, where they
not
find research? Okay.
necessarily. I mean, there are different ways. And I remember at the conference, some of the participants mentioned, say, Herman, you know what? I use a book to do my research, or I use a publication called the Quick Finders. And maybe some of the participants we have today might go ahead and say, hey, I've been using the Quick Finders for years. And those are a great resource because I can go ahead, pass the pages, and get my information quickly. So the Quick Finders are actually produced by Thomson Reuters. And the Quick Finders, so an extension of the Quick Finders, are basically what we call the desk books, which are much more in-depth. It will give you tons of examples. It will show you links to the law, and it will show you how to work with the topic and understand the topic in pretty good detail. So again, you can always go in, open your publication. If you are maybe doing research by going into a quick finder, by using a book or anything like that, you will have all the information here available. And obviously, once you go in and select a topic, as I said before, you will have the topic itself, the analysis, examples, but also links to the regs, to the rulings, to the code sections, to have a backup, to really say, hey, I draw this conclusion by reading this, but this is the law where I can find pretty much the meaning of what my answer is. Okay, so that's very, very important. When we're doing research, always have a resource or always have a link where the law is coming from to help us make sure that what we're reading is correct. So again, Checkpoint will give you examples, will give you questions, will give you many other things. It will give you illustrations as well. As you can see there, how to report the income received on this, in the Schedule B or anything like that. So you can always go in and using this button here called Contents, where you can easily go back and browse these publications. So this is just one of the many different ways that you can access Checkpoint, and just to have a very big idea of how to do it. Now, if you say, but I don't use a book, I don't use the quick finders, I'm a Google person. And many of the participants today might say, I'm not really interested in learning the chapter and the book and where the information is coming from. I just want to be able to type whatever I need and get to my answer. Sure, we can do that in Checkpoint. Just click on the search screen here. And when we click on the search screen, remember that the first thing we need to do is to go in and actually select the practice area we want to work with, because you can have a federal question, you can have a question in California or Texas or New York, Florida, whatever happens to be the situation. You can always go in and then select your question and go right from there. You might want to take a look at planning. So look at estate planning in more detail, pension or international. Maybe we have a situation where we need to look at a tax treaty with Mexico or Colombia, Argentina, or Europe, whatever it is the situation. You can always go in and select your practice area accordingly. When you make a change, see here, I go, for example, to state and local, to change it around, or go back to federal. And from here, it's pretty simple. All we have to do is simply ask a question. Simply type it in. And for this, I'm just going to select, let me take a look at this and select the Let me do it this way. There you go. All right. And from here, you select what you need and answer your questions. So you can actually ask something really, really simple and say, all right, what are the education credits this year? Right. And just by typing, you can go in and get to some suggestions, right? Or also get to your answer even before finishing typing your question. And this section over here is called quick tax amounts. If I want a summary of all the education tax incentives for my clients, I can go back and look at a chart. And this chart will have obviously links into my law, right? Revenue procedures, or code section, regulations, whatever happens to be the case. So again, just even as you start typing, you can easily go on and start seeing summaries that will help you with your answer. If you want more, maybe you can go in and just take a look at any of these, right? Let's see, education credits, life learning credit, so on and so forth. We'll show you what the code sections are and what are the basics. Now, if you say, hey, you know what, I really want just to go ahead and do a search, so let's say rental property or anything like that, you can simply go in, simply click on the search button here, and then the program is going to bring the answers to you, right? Just like you do it in Google or any other website. Okay, if I start looking at the different results, rental of residence and vacation homes, rental activities, property rent to related parties, anything like that, and you say, you know what, the situation of my client is that he's renting a property to some relatives, and I want to see how I can go ahead and help him claim all these deductions on this property, so on and so forth. So that's what Checkpoint is going to do, and it's going to have links into other areas, graphics and tables and examples. As you can see here, rental at fair value to family member or any other, and it will have examples over and over again. All right, so any comments, any questions, or any questions from the audience?
I see a question that says here, how do I get access to this? But there's a free trial for this, right? You're probably going to get to it at the end.
Absolutely, yeah. Let me go ahead and bring it up again. Yeah, so let's let me share my screen. Let's see here. Let's take a look. Okay, and let's go to the website. The website is checkpoint. Checkpoint.riag.com. Everybody can see it. Checkpoint.riag.com. And once you get there, oh goodness, it's asking me to restart this. Let me go back and reshare this. Okay, let's do it from Internet Explorer. Let me log out. Go back to the login page. There it is. Yes, remember, it is checkpoint.riag.com. In fact, let me share this as well, and we can just type it in, Word, share, and it is checkpoint.rag.com. Okay, that would be the first thing to remember, right? Just type that address, and you can just say, just go to Google and just type, checkpoint RIA, and that is going to take you right into our login page. And then from there, you can either say, request a free trial. Another idea is, please, everyone, so I can even can take care of you even better and really give you access to what you need, please send me an email. As simple as that. Please send me an email. Hey, Herman, I want to have access to Checkpoint. I'll take care of that for you. Okay, I think it's either a couple of weeks, 30 days. I'm not really sure, but just send me an email and I'll take care questions you might have, or just to give you access to the materials so it might not be that overwhelming. Because like I said before, you might just go to Checkpoint and say, my goodness, I have access to everything. Now we can just limit your access only to what is important to you. All right, great. Do we have any other questions, Tony?
No, not at this time. Yeah. If anybody has any questions on Facebook or Zoom, please type them in and we'll go ahead and answer them.
All right, fantastic. So let's go back into Checkpoint and go right from there. Okay, so let me go back and log in. And let me share again the right screen. Here we are. All right, so like I mentioned before, all you have to do is go in, select your practice area right from the search screen, and you can also type a question. You know, what is the, you know, something like this. Just by typing a question, like you will do it in Google, you will automatically get these suggestions, see? Standard mileage rate for the last 3 years, anything like that. So yeah, whatever you want, how you want to phrase the question is not a problem. You can always go in and the program is going to give you all these suggestions. See, a TIN, application, child credit, dependent, individual taxpayer identification numbers, you know, stuff like that. So right from your main screen, you're going to start getting the answers that you need. And obviously, links to the code, links to the regs, links to the rulings, whatever is necessary, see? So here we have another resource, Introduction to Taxpayer Identification Number. It will tell you, hey, what forms you need to use. It will have links, obviously, you know, post 2025 or pre-2018 personal exceptions. For this, go here. Child independent child care, go here, go there. And it also has client letters. Sometimes you say, hey, I have a question from my client, and I would like to answer it, and I'm not sure where to start. So Checkpoint is going to give you client letters, and that you're more than welcome to copy and paste. As you can see this example here, dear client, right, adoption credit, so on and so forth. 2 tax benefits are available to offset the expenses of adopting a child, so on and so forth. So here, we'll put all these letters together for you to help you get back to your clients in a pretty easy way. And obviously, my suggestion is to tweak them. You can easily export them, right? Just send it to Word, send it to PDF, whatever works for you, copy and paste. You can also save it into a folder. Remember, that's something else that you can do with Checkpoint. It's really organize your work. But sometimes you might be in a situation where you say, hey, I go back to my quick finder, but eventually you need to go back, and I have talked to some practitioners. They said, no, I make a copy of the book, and then I in the copy, or I just scan this, and then I have to mention that this goes to this client, or if I find something online, I have to, you know, go back and rename it. But no, here you can actually set up a folder inside Checkpoint. As you can see, you can set up as many clients as you want here. You can put some notes. If I click on Save, I'm going to see the notes at the beginning of the page inside the website. If I want to highlight something, something is really important here, I can also highlight and add notes. So eventually, if I copy and paste, eventually, if I want to remember what my notes are and for what client, you can easily go back to your main screen, go to the notes sections here. You see this, click on notes, and every single note that I have added into the system is here. Or maybe any, you know, all the folders. And what happens if you want to organize your work? You know, this is another good tool. You might do all the research, and you sometimes you say, I forgot where I put this piece of paper. I forgot where I put this answer. So you can Same thing, organize all your folders, go back every year, open up your client, right? And when you open your client, you can then see what information or what topics you researched for that client in the past, right? So take advantage of the folders. Since it is a website, all the information is going to be there. You can use Checkpoint from your tablet, from any location. Again, it's a website, so it's pretty easy. And the other thing that is very important, it is always current, right? That's another thing. I was asking, even at the conference, I was asking some of the users, all right, so you're reading a book. How do you know, or how often is the book updated? And that was the first, they just give me a look and said, like, oh, man, I never thought of that. How do I know if my book or the information in my book is current? Well, that's the reason you have a website. It's always current. If you go to Google or any other website, you might find something that was written 5 years ago. You might find something that it was maybe from somebody who is just trying to create a blog and might not be correct that what he was saying, or especially with TCJA. You might find things that were correct before TCJA and not necessarily now. So that's when this tool becomes something that is really important. Now that we're walking into extension season, right? We did all the extensions. Now we have to go back into our second, right, mini tax season, and they start thinking, okay, I got all these extensions. I have to complete all these 1120s, 1065, my 1040s by October. This is the time where you can go in and say, I really need a tool like Checkpoint, because I can go ahead and make sure that what I'm researching is correct. All right, so take advantage of all this. Flag items, that's another idea. You can flag items, things that you say, you know what, this is important. I want to keep an eye on it. Yeah, just go here to flag items and either add it or remove it. Easily, you can go on and take care of that. Now, sometimes we say, Checkpoint is going to help me with my answers, but what about planning? All right, sometimes we say, at the conference, I had a client that deals only with restaurants and bars. And I had another client that only deals with real estate. And he was telling me, hey, many clients come in and I want to give them advice, but I'm not sure if I'm giving them the right advice. What can I use to help me plan for my clients and to be proactive? Because remember that one of the objectives of your practice is to be in touch with your client throughout the year, not only at the time that you're preparing your the tax return. You want to be constantly sending them emails. You want to make sure, right, that did any changes? Did they buy a house? Did they get married? Did they have another child? Did they change their jobs? How their financial situation is changing? Things like that. So you can always go in and look at all these planning guides. This library is called the PPC Tax and Financial Planning. If you deal maybe with somebody, like I said before, with real estate, let me find it here, personal finance, real estate taxation. So right there, you can go in and advise somebody, hey, that is in the real estate business, and go on and just show them, hey, I have this idea, I have this other idea. What about maybe tax-related identity theft? That's another thing that many of our clients might be facing, right? Where we go in and we say, hey, I have this situation where somebody took my refund, or I got this letter that somebody might have taken my identity. What do I do? So this guide actually is included in the Latino Tax Pro package, and it will help you pretty much with all the topics related with tax-related identity theft. You see, related tax considerations, non-tax considerations, resolving identity theft for individuals, things like that. So you see, taxpayer working with the credit bureaus and not other IRS organizations. Obviously, I think the other one had to work with the IRS and things like that in situations like that. practical estate planning. Maybe what about if you deal with 1120s and things like that, buying or selling a business? I'm pretty sure many of you that are watching us right now might say, hey, I have quite a few clients that have a smaller store. They come to me and they said, hey, what do you think, Tony? Should I sell my business? Or somebody's asking me or offering a new store. Should I go ahead? What are the tax implications of me buying another store or selling the business that I have? So all these guides will really cover all those questions for you, and most importantly, will give you ideas of how to handle the tax situation in those.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
especially right now, Herman, the end of the year, there's a lot of tax planning, advisory work. We're really looking to encourage our members to embrace becoming advisors and helping the client. So having a tool like this, I could see that working very well.
Absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, if we go back to all these and take a look at it, choice of business entity, that's another big question. And I had actually a couple of participants at the booth at the show asking me, hey, I always have questions on choice of entity. I'm not sure. Should I advise my client to create a partnership, an S corporation, a C? What should I do? So this guide will focus on that, retirement plans for the small business, compensation and benefits, construction contractors. That's another big area that sometimes we might want to expand into. And the other idea of using Checkpoint and having a tool like this is that once you have the tool and you start reading this, you can say, you know what, I can increase my, I want to go out and visit different business and offer more services because now I feel more comfortable in doing returns for business or dealing with real estate, or as you mentioned here, practical estate planning or small employer retirement plans. Once you learn the topic and you have a tool that will keep you current, you will feel more comfortable approaching your clients and not having to say, oh, Mr. Client, you know what, I don't really handle this, but let me connect you with somebody who will. Now you can say, I feel confident, let me go ahead and sure, I can take the business. I'll get back to you and really use Checkpoint to help you with all your work and your research questions. All right, so do we have any other questions, Tony, from the audience?
Let's see here. I have it opened. I have a question here. It basically says, if there's a lot of employees in the office, do we purchase one license or does every employee have its own license?
Great question. The way it works is pretty much we have different packages where it is one user and then it goes in chunks of 5. So it will be one user, 2 to 5 users for the same price, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20. And the beauty of it, and again, I strongly advise everyone to, I'll place my contact information back on in a minute, but please contact me because what you can do is we can work with a package for you that is going to help you addressing, hey, I have 20 users, but I have maybe 5 users who will do corporate reviews, and I have 10 users that will be doing tax preparation. So we can create a package that is going to have 5 licenses of one, 10 licenses of the other. Maybe you say, I don't need 10 licenses for the real estate guide, I only need 1. Sure, we can include only 1 license for the real estate guide. So yeah, it's there are many different ways to organize your package. We have, again, big discounts for Latino Tax Pro members. So please contact me and I'll be more than happy to help you putting together a package that will work for your firm. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Thanks. Great
Questions?
question.
Uh-huh.
And then another question is the subscription all year long or is it only during tax season or how does the subscription work? Is it online?
Yes, great question. The subscription is online. It is for the entire year, right? And sometimes we might go ahead and have promotions where we say, yeah, no, you will get the service for 18 months and you only pay for 12 during the first year. and things like that. So we always have promotions, discounts. But yeah, the regular subscription is um, a year. What we'll do is we'll send you a reminder. We'll send you a renewal notice about 3 months before the renewal, and you can always make changes because remember our practices always change. You can say, "Hey, Herman, you know what? I this year I gained two new. Um, I have to prepare more financial statements, or I have three more partnerships. I need guide. I don't need this other guide." So easily you can switch around guides, and yeah, again, it's pretty easy. Just like think of it. Think of Checkpoint as going to a big supermarket, and then you're just picking and choosing what you want, and you will do that once a year, and simply get your shopping cart and be ready to have all the tools and everything you need for that specific year. And you can subscribe at any time. If you subscribed on September 1st, obviously your subscription will go from September 1st until August 30th. You don't have to wait until tax season or the beginning of tax season or anything like that. Mhm.
Got it. Got it. Oh, that sounds good.
All
Great.
right, so let me go back in here and make sure that I share Checkpoint. Now, let's take a look at some other questions that we might have. And sometimes we might be in a situation that you say, hey, I'm pretty much covered. I do a lot of 1040s, so I know my practice very well, but I have clients from different states. I have clients from California, I have clients from Texas, I have clients from New York, and I'm not familiar with the laws of every single state. And it's difficult to keep track of everything. And so what you do, you simply go into the state and local library, and from there, if you have a question in California, let's say here, California, then we say next. We'll go on, and Checkpoint will give you information pretty much on any kind of taxes available in California. If it is New York, you will have the New York City taxes and the other local taxes and right, whatever it is specific to the state or even to the local level. We will go ahead and cover that for you. If you say, okay, I need the Atlanta tax or New York City tax, it's covered here. So again, it's it pretty much covers everything. So here we have as an example, cigarette, alcohol, corporate, credits and incentives. That's another big area where once you expand your practice, some client might tell you, hey, I'm interested in having a factory here or maybe having a small store, but do you know what part of town might give me an incentive for me to create a few jobs, right? You might say, I'm relocating from California to Texas, and I want to bring with me 20 employees. Is there any incentives that I can have for me to relocate? So sure, you can always go in, look at all the credits and incentives that the state might offer to that specific address. We have a tool that will let you plug in the address or the zip code and show you any of the credits and incentives just for that area in any category. So same thing here, personal income tax, property tax, sales and use, special local taxes. You want explanations, regulations, things like that. You name it, right? Just go ahead and just say, I'm interested in maybe a summary of anything related to TCJA, right? Related to that. And once we go in, you see which state follows TCJA or corporate income or TCJA depreciation or bonus depreciation, anything like that. You can go in and simply do your search, and the program will take care of those answers for you, right? So you can pick one state, you can pick all the others, whatever it is, we'll go ahead and take care of that answer for you. If you need to create a summary, that's another question where you might say, I have clients in 5 states, and I'm interested in due dates, or I'm interested in, yeah, many topics. Let's take a look. Maybe what states follow TCJA? So we can go into the tool section here. There is a tool called Create a Chart. And let's do corporate income, for example. Let's do TCJA. And let's pick this, I don't know, let's pick this. Which state follows 163, 1031, 199 at the state level? We click on this. Right, let's pick all states. And in a matter of seconds, the program then is going to create charts for you, giving you all the answers. So if you can imagine, before having tools like this, how long it will take you to go into each state website and trying to put together all this information, right? It will take you quite a bit of time. But here in Checkpoint, you can do this in a matter of seconds, as you just saw it. So again, here you have.
Yeah, I was going to ask, Germán, what's the other option for people to find this information? Do they need to go to these publications? They got to do the research, or
Yeah.
how do people do it?
Yeah, even before, even before we created this part of the program, create a chart. Yeah, pretty much for the practitioner, they will have to make phone calls to the state offices. They will have to go to the state's websites and just compiling all the information together, putting it in Excel, putting it in Word, in PDF, everything. And by the way, some of you might say that information is great, but I want to see it in Excel. So here you can just easily create a report, put it all together, or you can filter it even more. Right? So, okay, well, it's coming up in Excel anyway, so I don't have to share it, but that's the idea. You have the ability to actually filter and do many different things with the program and the tool section that this offers. Again, it's a matter of the simplicity of the program, but the complexity of giving you all the answers current and easy to understand. Mm-hmm. Right, so what about, the other question is, what about if you say, Herman, but I have a return from a client in California, and actually this client hasn't filed in the last 10 years. Where do I start? Because you might go to the state website, it only has today's information, but what about 10 years ago? What was important 10 years ago? What was the mileage rate? What were all the rates and things like that that are important in able to be able to create all this? So what you can do inside Checkpoint, we have a section called Checkpoint Archives. And basically, if you have a question for the client or return in 2014, for example, you can go in and open the library, and this is the law and the interpretation of the law the way it was written in 2014. So again, it gives you all the tools for you to say, hey, sure, I can go ahead and take care of the last 5 years of your returns. Or maybe somebody comes to your office and say, hey, Tony, you know what? I got this letter. I've been audited. And I would like to work with you. I don't want to work with my prior accountant. Can you please revise? And, you know, here you have all my tax returns. Please help me out. How are you going to have the information to be able to review all this? All this information will be available in Checkpoint. But what about if you say, okay, I'm at the federal. That's not a problem. I have my quick finders. But where do I find California archive material? All right, so pretty simple. You simply go into Checkpoint, open your state and local libraries. Let's go to California. And here you can just pretty much do the same thing. Look at the statutes, look at everything. Hey, I need to look at something from 2007. All the statutes are going to be there. You see? You see this?
Oh, nice. So Checkpoint includes the states also?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It has, it has all the information available. Yes, including local, and it's also archived. Mm-hmm. So again, it's one place where you can find everything. Everybody see this? LA Municipal Code, the way it was in 2007, right? So again, it's one place where you can go on and you can make sure that what you're reading is correct, is being revised. And something else, sometimes you might say, oh, but I go and my state website is very current. Where sometimes I ask some practitioners at the conference, I said, like, did you know that I'm not sure if it's 100%, but at least 95% of state governments subscribe to Checkpoint, and that's what they use Checkpoint to make sure that they are always current. Even some websites might not be current at all, or some websites or some states, sorry, might say, you know what, we're going to give you the current information, but we don't want to give you the archive information. But the states subscribe to Checkpoint. The IRS subscribe to Checkpoints. Many governments, around the world, FASB, AACPA, SEC, all of them subscribe to Checkpoint. So again,
Nice.
the simplicity of having everything in one platform, but having tons and tons and go as deep as you want with your research. Mm-hmm.
Great. Well, thank you so much for all this information, German. So if anybody has any questions or wants the free trial, do they contact you?
Yes,
What's the
that? I think it will be the easiest thing to do. Let me go ahead and bring my email again. Sure, we'll be more than happy to open up a trial. Please, everybody, feel free to contact me. Can everybody see my contact information there?
Yes, we got it. So anybody that's interested in learning more about Checkpoint and the research, contact German Hernandez here. There's his email. What I'm thinking too, next time we do a webinar, German, let's get some questions ahead of time, and we could research them live in person. That'd be awesome to show people how to research live questions.
I like that. Absolutely. So definitely let's work on that. And I want to also confirm that I'm going to be presenting in some of the events that you have. I'm going to be in the Miami event and the Houston event. I'm going to be
nice.
So look forward to some of you are going there. Look forward to meet you all in person. Spend some time and just help you with anything you need related to your tax questions.
I love it. Yeah. So make sure to sign up for the regional seminars, everyone. We're going to be in Anaheim, Houston, San Antonio, Miami, and Jersey. And German and Thomson Reuters will be at all of them. German will be at a few of them. And just send them your questions. Send me your questions so we can start having a nice list, and we can go live and answer them live in person and show you how Checkpoint research works.
Absolutely. And one more thing, I don't have to share my screen again, but right within the website, we actually have a section of support where you can send an email to the developers, to the editors. The editors are attorneys, are CPAs for many, many years. And you simply send them the question. They say, look, I've been researching for this and this. We're not allowed to give you an answer as per se, but we can take you and say, hey, Tony, look at this section in the Federal Tax Coordinator, or look at this example in the PPC guide. All right. But at least we can take you where you need to be and help you that way. So again, feel free to contact me. If you want a trial, you want to learn more about Checkpoint, my contact information is there.
I love it. Sounds great. Well, thanks, German. Thanks, Thomson Reuters. And we'll be in touch, everyone.
There you go. Thank you, everyone. Mucho gusto. All right. Have a nice day, everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Gracias. Bye.